No, December is not cancelled, but restrictions are being put in place and some festive events have been called off. What will this then mean for the hospitality and entertainment industry, which is in desperate need of the festive injection? I'm now joined by Mr. Glenton de Kock, CEO of the Southern African Association for the Conference Industry, to discuss this even further. Mr. de Kock, a pleasure to talk to you this morning. I mean, quite a blow there, I suppose, for the province, particularly even the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro at this time, but it seems the president is emphasizing that this is necessary due to those rising numbers in the province. Your reaction?
Good morning, Tumelo, and good morning to the viewers. Yes, indeed. I think the message is quite clear that our individual behaviors need to be definitely adjusted and looked at. And I think ourselves as citizens need to realize that our behaviors has an impact on many other sectors or industries. But specifically for this time of year, for the live entertainers and the live event organizers, as we've seen, particularly in most of our coastal cities and towns, have cancelled large gatherings or live events. It's really been a devastating blow. But one understands that throughout the pandemic, we had to do two things, manage the saving of lives. And obviously now that there's been a big blow because livelihoods are affected due to some behaviors around the country as such. So it's really been a tough period of time. But one has to also take cognizance of the fact that we have as associations and as event organizers, we have put in place safety protocols, and we have been working with a number of cities in terms of their joint operation committees to ensure that protocols are adhered to. And we will continue encouraging the areas within South Africa that will still be allowed to have events to ensure that they really are strict in ensuring that themselves as organizers, but also attendees adhere to these protocols as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about perhaps the economical impact here. When you talk conferencing, entertainment, hospitality, how many businesses, how many jobs, just an estimate perhaps that you could just share with us, are affected here?
Initial indications on, and obviously we'll see now because this, these latest announcements last night, particularly as I said, with the coastal cities will also add to what has already happened. So number-wise, you're probably looking in excess of about 100,000 jobs estimated that are lost, because one has to consider that there's additional added industries that support live events and eventing in general. And at an economical level, we've seen indications already in excess of close to 80 to 90 million rand moving into the couple of billions if one takes a collective industry in play as well. Because the numbers are huge, and also the numbers in respect of the contribution to the fiscus in terms of taxes is also quite significant from our sector as well.
Mr. de Kock, will the industry survive? I mean, we know that the festive season, financial injection is one of the critical, ways to make money, particularly for your industry. Everyone knows festive season, it's mostly a happy season. This year, of course, taking that exception. But will it be able to recover?
It's going to be a really, really long and slow recovery. And the recovery has to be understood in that both government's role in the recovery, because government is also quite a big contributor to partly events and to business events. So we're looking now, obviously, with what's happened in the last couple of days and that, we're looking at anything between 18 months to 24 months in terms of a full recovery. But it's going to be very, very slow. And one has to understand as well that a number of businesses, as I just indicated, are either going to close now because of what's happened. They won't be able to survive for the next month, let alone for the next 6 months, which means more jobs will be added to the unemployment tax in probably the first quarter of 2021.
Yeah, and just lastly,
slow recovery. It's really going to be a tough recovery as well.
Yeah, and your advice, perhaps, I mean, to even residents, businesses during this time, just in terms of adhering to these lockdown regulations and also health measures, so not to have, a third lockdown affecting you potentially in future.
I think we have to follow what the president's been asking us all to do. Wear the mask, sanitize, social distance. And I think individually we have to be a little bit selfish as well. Because if I'm doing those things that the president wants me to do, I'm keeping you safe. So we can gather, we can have a good festive season, but we have to also be responsible in understanding that in some instances we're not going to have the freedom that we had before. Because as we've seen, unfortunately, what's happened in Nelson Mandela Bay, I think the president's a little bit angry with all of us. So he's probably, unfortunately, used my home city as an example, if you must be behaving in certain aspects. So it's really a small percentage, I think, of us that are not adhering to the protocols. But I think we have to follow the advice from the president. And we must ensure, I think, for our country and our economy, that by doing those things, we can still keep the economy moving. And I think particularly in our sector, we really are reliant on all of us to adhere to the protocol, to adhere to the safety regulations.
Absolutely.
And we can gather. You know, our space is an organized gathering, so issues around tracking and tracing is fundamental. We highly regulated already, as we've seen on many platforms before. So that allows us to ensure that we are able to gather safely and we are able to enjoy ourselves responsibly as well.
Glenton de Kock, thank you so much for your time.